my recommendations of the three big things I like to deal with in session zero before starting a D&D campaign. So for those of you who don't know, session zero is the first session that you kind of meet everybody. You don't actually play the game in that session. It's where you sort out all the stuff you need to deal with before you actually play, so that when everybody shows up for session one, you can just get started and there are no questions. It's all been dealt with. So my top three. Number one, make sure that everybody's here for the same campaign. Because if you, as a DM, look around your table and you've got two players over here singing the Yakety Sax theme, you've got a wizard in a gray hat looking for halflings to join him on an adventure at the end of the table, and your last two players are arguing over who gets to sit in the corner with nothing but their angst and their black cloaks to keep them warm, and you, in your panic, look down at your notes and you can see nothing but cyberpunk and gunblades, you're probably going to have some issues. My favorite way to deal with this is actually to do character creation together in session zero. There are a couple reasons for that. One, you're making a party together, and so it's more likely to be kind of cohesive and everybody here for the same campaign, and to create a group that everybody is excited about and thinks is awesome. The second thing is, you may have people at the table who don't know each other or who have different levels of experience. Maybe someone at the table's literally never played D&D or any tabletop RPG. And character creation can be kind of daunting. Let's face it, if you've never done it before or never heard of anything like this. And this way, if you do have veterans and newbies at the table, they can help each other out. And so I like to think of it, session zero and character creation, as your party's first quest in your main quest line. They need to work together and get to know each other to create a party that everybody is stoked about. And it just heads off a lot of problems kind of before they happen. You get to see how your players interact with each other. You get a party that's vaguely cohesive. Everyone knows how it came from, and it really just helps. Second thing that I like to deal with is topics that people don't want to talk about. So everybody, including the DM, is going to have things that you don't want to have happen at your table. I know I do. There are things I am not comfortable with and have no desire to roleplay. Thank you. And so usually I start with what I'm not comfortable with. And maybe not everybody is comfortable saying it out loud at the table. That's also okay. I usually just tell people to message me at least 24 hours before session one. And then at the beginning of session one, I go, hey, these are all the things that are not going to be happening at this table. If you have issues with it, let me know. We'll figure it out one way or another. If everyone chimes in at session zero, fantastic, problem solved. Everybody is aware of what's going on then, and you can deal with it. Because the way that D&D is the best in my mind is if everybody at the table feels safe and welcome and supported to stretch their boundaries and have fun and to really just play the game. Because if someone is in the corner feeling terrible about something, it's gonna put a damper on your table and it's not gonna feel good. So I recommend getting that out of the way right off the bat. The third thing, which is possibly the most difficult thing in D&D that I like to deal with, is scheduling. D&D takes time. You have to make a commitment to it. And so in session zero, I like to get everybody to, if they can, hopefully pick a time that they are always or basically always going to be available. It doesn't have to be every week. It can be every 2 weeks. It can be once a month, whatever. But it's not something where, oh, I'm available most of the time. I think it should be fine. Get people to, if you can, actually commit. If they can't, okay, maybe it's not the time for them to be playing D&D. See how it goes. My D&D group's rules are that if we are n-1, so total number of party members, -1, and everybody's okay with that, then we play. So a couple days or a day before we're supposed to have our next session, I will message the group in our group chat and be like, hey, who's in for this week? Are we ready to go? And if one person or fewer is missing and everybody's fine with it, then we play. If more than one person is missing, or somebody's not okay with not playing that particular session without a full party, because there are some situations where something important is happening in the campaign. Somebody really doesn't want to miss something. Then it's important to have everybody, and so that you make that work. And then if someone is not there for a session, there are two things that we can do. Either me as the DM can figure something out. You know, they got knocked out, they got lost in the woods, whatever. Usually I do that in conjunction with the player that is missing. But most of the time we just have somebody else at the table roll for the player who isn't there. That happens to work for our table. It may not work for yours. All I'm saying is have kind of an open and honest conversation about scheduling so that everyone is aware of the expectations and what should be happening in an ideal world at the table, so that nothing is a surprise and nobody's blindsided, because all of these are about preventing issues before they happen so that you can get off on the right foot and have kind of the smoothest D&D experience possible, so that you can just sit down and have fun. So yeah, that's my 3 big topics to get out of the way to get you off on the right foot.